and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, October 2nd, Erev Sukkos. Well, I could choose a million different halachas to discuss with you. So much is going to happen over the next few days halachically, but well, here's the one I chose for you, and it is the topic of Shalosh Seudos, the three Shabbos meals on this coming Shabbos. We are always supposed to have three meals on Shabbos, regardless of whether it's Yom Tov or Erev Yom Tov or anything like that. We're always supposed to try to have three meals on Shabbos, and this Shabbos too, we should try to have three meals. Now, most of you logging on to this, I know, are somewhat halacha buffs, and you know the drill. What we usually do is we try to somehow squeeze in that Shalosh Seudos in some interesting way. One perfectly halachic way to do it is to divide your Shabbos meal, your Shabbos lunch, into kind of sort of two parts. You wash, you have your meal. Let's say you bench after the main course, take a little bit of a walk, come back and do second or third part of your Shabbos meal, and wash again and eat some more and bench again, and that is totally okay. You should take a bit of a break between the two parts, like maybe a little bit of a walk between part one and part two, because to bench and say Hamotzi 1 second later is a little bit inappropriate. So that is one of your considerations. The one interesting thing that I wanted to hit with you, oh, and by the way, if you want to be the kind of family that has the family go to Hashkama Minyan Shabbos morning, then it gets even easier. You can go to Hashkama Minyan, come home, make Kiddush with bread and everything, and have a bit of a breakfast bread meal at, let's say, 9 in the morning, and then learn Torah, do good things, and then come back 12 or 1 and have your lunch, which would then be your third Shabbos meal of the day with, of course, hamotzi and everything. That's another option. Now, but specifically, I want to hit this point before we close out the halacha, and that is, what if you didn't manage to get to do all that? You had a regular lunch, you benched, you didn't do that, and you want to have Shalosh Seudos later in the afternoon, or you messed up somewhat, you woke up late from your Shabbos nap, and you'll say, uh-oh, it's getting close to the end of the day. Is it still appropriate to have Shalosh Seudos? So generally, the rule is that you're supposed to not start a nice size meal within 3 hours of the next Yom Tov, and it's going to be, of course, Yom Tov on Saturday night and Sunday. So I'm talking for us here outside of Israel. So having your Shalosh Seudos late in the day is not the best way to accomplish it. But what if it happens? You fell asleep, you forgot to do all this, and now it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're wondering if you could have Shalosh Seudos. So for that, I'm going to take you to the Mishnah Brura, who paskins very clearly on this matter. Here it is. Afilu im shachach, even if he forgot, o avar, or even if he violated, velo kayem suda shlishis kodem zman mincha. Let's say he didn't have his Shalosh Seudos before the time of mincha, the last couple hours of the day. Mincha ktana, that's 3 hours before the end of the day. So yochol lekayem achar kach, then he could still fulfill the mitzvah of Shalosh Seudos later in the day if it got to that. It's not the best way to arrange it, but if it got to that, the Shalosh Seudos command will override. That's what the Mishnah Berurah is telling us here. So if you did fall asleep, you did forget to have your Shalosh Seudos, and now it's, let's say, the last 3 hours of the day on Shabbos, the Mishnah Berurah is telling us clearly here, Yochol lekayim achar kach. But he then ends by saying, Ach az mitzvah lechatchila lizar sheyochal rak ma'at pas. Then don't make it a hefty meal, because then it'll get away in the way of your Yom Tov meal for after Shabbos. Kadei sheyochal b'layla l'teyavon, so she'd have good desire to eat his Yom Tov meal on Saturday night. V'hu adin k'shachal Yom Tov rishon b'Shabbos, that's this year's style. Shaykh kol elu hadvarim, all these things apply even in this year's setting, where the Shabbos is the first day of Yom Tov and Saturday night, Sunday is the second day of Yom Tov. Same rules hold true. Just in case I mixed you up, let me sum up here. you should have Shalosh Seudos. You should try to have it earlier in the day. If somehow you didn't have it earlier in the day, the Mishnah Berurah is telling us clearly here that you could have it later in the day. Don't overeat, just have ma'at pas kadei sheyochel b'layla te'avon. If you are having it late in the day, just make it a small piece of bread, enough to bench on, and that sums up everything. So I wish you all a wonderful Yom Tov and a good Shabbos, and log on again. Our next halacha to you should be hopefully on Sunday night or Monday. So have a great Shabbos, a great Yom Tov. Bye-bye.